And it's okay to stand still as we get started, but it's also okay to move. If you had your eyes open, you'd probably see me. I kind of shake my arms out. I move around a little bit until you kind of get that little bit of release in your body where you're maybe not holding on to quite so much tension. And just breathe. Nice full inhale, nice full exhale. Start to activate the muscles of your core, expanding as you breathe in. And really actively pulling those muscles in towards your spine as you breathe out. And as we take these breaths that are just breaths, no movement attached to them, see if you can get that exhale to travel all the way from your chest down into that low pelvis. We talk about it a lot, but it's harder to do when you're also moving your body. But it's very grounding and anchoring that breath. So if you came in with any, tension, stress, the more you can breathe that exhale down, the more the body is likely to let go. Just a couple more breaths like this. And then we'll add our turning of the head to our breathing, remembering we're just letting go of tension in the neck. And it can be an upright turn, or it can be that little forward half circle, bringing the chin toward the chest, whichever is better for your neck. No real defined breath pattern, just make sure you keep breathing. And when you're ready, just lift the head back up, lengthen the neck, and let's roll the shoulders. Inhale forward and up, exhale back and down. And with this particular movement, having a breath pattern attached to it, we can get back to that deep core breath as the shoulders roll back and down, the exhale travels down the core. Taking just a few more of these. And on this last one, go ahead and let your eyes come open. Sit yourself back in chair, hands at the mid-thigh, cat-cow. Inhale, arc. Exhale, round. Just making sure that this movement is traveling all the way from the tailbone through the neck. I know for me, it's very easy to leave my head out of the equation, my neck. Make sure you're getting that movement throughout the spine. Let's do just two more. You can even press gently into the thighs to exaggerate each position a bit. And then we'll use this last cat. We'll roll it up. And we're just gonna go ahead and take our lunges. So we'll take that left leg back, left arm up over the head, and we'll just start with our tap and reach. Exhaling as that foot taps forward. Inhaling as we reach back. Giving those arms a lot of length. It helps with balance. And it also helps warm up that upper body. Let's do two more. And then on this next one, go ahead and hold your lunge. Press that back heel toward the floor. Torso goes over to the right. Breathe. And come on up. And I'm not sure I gave you the correct, I may have told you my actual foot and arm, so do the other side. Whichever that was, I'll get back on track here after these lunges. I think both of you know from classes that I use my jewelry to make sure I know which side is which. My brain checked out there for just a moment. Using that exhale to tap forward. Inhale to reach back. Just 2 more. Hold that lunge, press the back heel toward the floor. Torso bends in the direction of the front leg, over to the side. Breathing. And then coming up, we're gonna take our lateral or side to side lunge. So we're gonna take that left leg, step it out to the side, bending the left knee, reaching for the floor. And then we tap up. So we go down and up. As we go down into that lunge, hips reach back behind us. Spine stays nice and neutral. And then we come into that fully upright position as we lift. And we're just gonna do 4 more. 3. We have 2 more. So next time you're gonna hold the lunge and we're just gonna shift it gently side to side, bending the right knee, bending the left knee, bending the right knee, bending the left knee. See if you can really put your weight back in your heels, shifting the tailbone toward the wall behind you and keeping that spine nice and long. And 1 more time each direction, and then we'll end up over on that right side with the right knee bent, and then we'll tap up and down. If you need to move because you have a small space, totally go ahead and take that moment. Exhaling as we come up, inhaling as we go down. 4 more. We're gonna do 2 more. Last one. And just bring it up and shake it out. And this is where we're gonna pick up some hand weights. So I would start as light as you can. I'm gonna grab some 2s. We're gonna find our nice wide second position. And we're just gonna take a big inhale up and exhale, bend the knees, come into those hips. Inhale up, exhale down. You could do this opener without hand weights. And even though you have them, the arms are still sweeping free. So they're just sweeping up over the head, sweeping down nice and low. We've got 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more time. Come down into that plie. Arms are gonna go out to shoulder height, palms down. And let's start a little pulse down through the legs, making sure the knees are right over the heels. Knees and toes are pointing in the same direction. Hands are a little bit lower than your shoulders so that those shoulders can stay down, away from the ears. And we're gonna pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more pulses. Hold low in the legs and the elbows bend and press and bend and press and inhale and exhale. 4 more low in the legs, keeping the hands in the peripheral vision, finding those triceps. So now as we straighten the arms, let's also straighten the legs. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Giving those legs a little bit of a break. 4 more. Pushing through those heels as we come up, finding the inner leg muscles. 2 more. 1 more. We're gonna come down in that plie. Arms go back out to the side, little circles forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, reverse. Arms go back, back. For 4 and 3, 2 more. Choose to hold your arms out there, or if you need a break like me, bring them in. And it's little pulses through the legs, up an inch, pushing the heels down into the ground, feeling the inner legs, pulling in toward the core. Beautiful posture. If you took a break, bring those arms out whenever you feel ready for it. And let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. We're gonna hold it low. Hold those arms out. Maybe roll those shoulders back and down and just breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up, give it a little shake out. We're gonna keep just one weight and we're gonna bring our support in. So if you have a chair or you need to move, go ahead and find your support. So outside hand is gonna have the weight. We're gonna bring ourselves into that parallel position. Legs are zipped right up the center. Lift those heels, bend the knees, slide your spine down that imaginary wall, and just start with that little pulse through the knees. We've got the ears right over the shoulders, shoulders right over the ribs, ribs over the hips, hips over the heels. Nice, easy pulse, squeezing those legs together. When you're ready, and you're not falling over like I am, sweep that arm straight out in front of you. Palm facing inward, hand a little lower than shoulder height. And let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it here. Bicep curl, in and out. Exhale, inhale. Think about squeezing your elbow across as though you were trying to bring it, even though the opposite elbow isn't there, you're trying to bring it toward that opposite elbow, just so we don't end up getting this fan out to the side. Also activates your chest. Now let's add the legs. As we curl, we come up and down. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. 4 more. Just sliding that spine up and down that imaginary wall. We have 2 more. We're gonna stay low in the legs. Flip the palm to face the floor, and you're gonna pull back, shoulder blade toward the spine, and press out. If your legs need a break, this is a good time to take one as you establish that upper body. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, reach forward, pulling that shoulder blade in. We're gonna add a little twist at the waist. So as you pull back, you're gonna twist and center. Twist and center. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. This is when that shake starts to happen in those legs. If you need a break, you know you can take it. We've got 4, 3, 2 more. Last one. Hold it. Flip the palm to face inward. Little pulses up through the legs. Up, up. If you need to shake like I do, take it. And then come right back down. So a lot of isometric holding in the arms today. Breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Take it all out. So before we switch sides, we're going to keep the weight in the same hand. Angle in slightly towards your support if you have the space, or you can stay facing head on. We're going to take the arm down at the sides. Feet are underneath the hips, soft knees. Take that outside leg back. We're going into our warrior 3. So as you hinge over, your arm is going to press up and back toward the ceiling. And as you come up, the arm simply releases. We have our inhale and we have our exhale. Keeping that standing knee nice and soft. Pushing into that heel every time we come up. So let's use that mind-body connection for just a minute. I just found it by really thinking about pushing my heel into the floor. So when you hinge over, the hamstring on your standing leg gets a stretch. And then when you come up, it should lift from your knee right up into the base of the seat. And the more you push that heel down, the more you'll feel that muscle contract. Let's do 4 more. Remembering your range of motion doesn't need to be this big. 2 more. 1 more, full hinge. And then we're gonna hinge over into that warrior 3. We'll hold it. You don't have to be parallel to the floor. You can be on an angle. And we're gonna take that arm and press up and back with it. Working the back of the shoulder, upper back. You need to give that neck a little shake out. Put some energy into the leg that's lifted. See if you can reach it clear across the room as we go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. We're gonna come up halfway. Give that arm a quick release. So that outside leg is back behind you, standing knees still soft, and we're just on an incline. Let's start with the leg. Give it a little hamstring curl and release. Hamstring curl and release. So the leg is lifted behind us, so the seat is constantly active, and then we're just bringing that hamstring into the mix. Now take that arm back behind you. Leave the leg straight for just a minute. And as the leg bends, the arm bends. And then they straighten together. Bend together, straighten together. Finding that tricep. Bend and straighten. Inhale, exhale. You could reverse the breath as well. Neither is wrong. Let's do 4 more. 3 more. I don't know about anyone else's standing leg, but mine feels like it's gonna fall off. 1 more. We're gonna hold the reach of the limbs behind us, and the arm is gonna do a little flutter into the triceps. So smaller range of motion, little bend and press. There's still energy in your lifted leg, a lift and a reach and a squeeze. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up and shake out your standing leg. So we're gonna go to the other side. If you're like me and you have to move your support, take the time. So I just happened to have my weight in my left hand last time, now it's going in my right. The new outside arm. We're gonna come into V position. So from that hip distance parallel, heels together, knees and toes pointing toward the corners. Bring the heels up a few inches and bring them in together so that they connect. Slide that spine down that imaginary wall, pressing the thighs open, and just start with that little pulse in the knees. Arm is at the side, breathing nice and easy, squeezing those heels together, finding that connection. We did quite a few pulses on the other side before we brought the arm up. Trying to match that on this side. When you're ready, just sweep that arm up. Hand is a little bit lower than the shoulder. Palm is facing inward. Breathing. Let's pulse the legs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it low in the legs. Bicep curl. In and out. In and out. Exhale and inhale. And again, remember that concept of taking the elbow and kind of pressing it across the body so that it doesn't wing out. And let's add those legs. As we bend, we come up and down. Up and down. Exhale and inhale. As you straighten, squeeze the legs together all the way from the heel to the inner thigh. You might feel it at the base of your seat as well. Let's do 4 more. 2 more. 1 more, and then we're going to come down into that plie. And we're gonna flip the palm to face the floor. And just the arm at first. Pull back, reach forward. Pull back, reach forward. That shoulder blade pulls in toward the center of the body and then releases. This is our exhale. This is our inhale. When you're ready, add that twist at the waist. Rotate, center, rotate, center. For this position, it's a little harder to keep those hips quiet. So as you pull that working arm back, think of pressing the opposing hip back. And that'll help keep the hips themselves quiet. Let's go 4, 3. We have 2 more. 1 more. We're going to hold that arm out there. Flip the palm to face inward. And it's little pulses up through the legs. As many shakes as you need. If you notice that shoulder kind of creeping up, give it a roll back and down. Maybe lower the hand just slightly. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more pulses. We're gonna hold it. Breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up, shake it all out. And we'll do that warrior 3 on this side. So feet hip distance parallel, outside leg goes back, inside knee is soft. As we hinge over, that arm is gonna press up and back. And then as we come up, the arm releases. Our inhale, hinge. Exhale, return to the top. And then we're gonna put that mind-body connection in play again and really focus on pushing into the standing heel. Finding the back of the leg as we come up, that hamstring lifts all the way to the base of the seat. Let's do 4 more of these. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then hinge it over however far you choose to go. Put energy into that leg and then pulse the arm up an inch, up an inch. Think about lifting from the back of your shoulder. It can be really easy to lift from your elbow, but really utilizing that entire arm, even the upper back. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more pulses. Bring it up halfway to that incline. Let the arm release for a moment. Leg goes back behind with energy and curl and straighten. Curl and straighten. It can be very easy to get into your low back here. So that concept of that zipper, just like a zipper on a pair of jeans, let's bring that into play. So we'll hold the leg straight, sweep the arm back, and let's bend both. Bend the elbow, straighten the elbow. Bend and straighten. Nothing wrong with shaking out your standing leg on this second side. It's done a lot of work. I'm fighting the urge myself, but I'm going to give in just a minute. Like now. Let's do 4 more full range. 2 more. Really try to fire up the back of your arm. And then hold that leg out nice and long. Lift the arm behind you, little flutter. Bend and reach, bend and reach. If you notice yourself kind of bearing down on your support to try to get out of your standing leg, lighten up that touch. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and shake. We're gonna get rid of our support and come down to the mat. So we're gonna start with a little bit of knee dancing, which you know from class. So if there's anything that you can put under your knees, I think we're all on carpet, but if it's not cushy enough, grab a pillow, a couple pillows, whatever you want to put underneath your knees. Your knees are a little bit wider than your hips. Feet are together, so it's like you're making a diamond with your legs. We're gonna stand on the knees, nice and tall, zip up that zipper. And we're just gonna do a few hinges. Let's take a weight into each hand and just hinge back like you're a board. Come up. Inhale back, exhale up. Keeping the fronts of the hips nice and long, maybe even thinking about pressing them forward slightly. We're gonna do 4 more like this. Really corseting the core as we come up. 2 more. Working that whole lower and core. 1 more. And then we're gonna change up the position. So like you've been karate chopped at the hip joint, nice and low, you're gonna keep your torso, your spine completely upright and just shift your hips back over your heels and then come back up to the top. So let's inhale as we sit back, exhale as we come up. It's kind of like a squat with the exception of the fact that you're not leaning your torso forward. But you still want to think of sitting the tailbone back, bringing the pelvis underneath you, maybe even with a little squeeze. We're going to do 2 more of these. 1 more. And then we're going to come down and hover the hips above the heels. Arms are going to go out, palms face the floor, and we're going to pull back, press forward. Pull back, press forward. So if your legs need a break at any point, you can come up into that upright position and just focus on the upper body. Let's inhale as we pull back, exhale as we press forward. We just have 2 more. 1 more, and then we're gonna come up out of those legs. Pull back, flip the palms to face forward, make that goalpost, and press up slightly in front of you. Pull back and down. Press up, pull back and down. This is one of those moments where if you wanted something heavier, you could grab a heavier weight for this. Let's do 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. And then release the arms to the sides. We're gonna come back into that knee dancing 1 more time. So this one's a little funky. You're gonna sit back. You can even set your weights down if you want to. And you're gonna press your left hip toward the left corner, come back to center. Press the right hip toward the right corner, come back to center. I like to put my hands at the heart, and we're just gonna speed it up a little bit. Press, press. So it's like you're making a backward half circle. Circle press, circle press. And all you want to make sure of is that you're not leaning over to do it, but you're staying upright. And it's an exhale with that press. We're going to do 4 more sets. Take breaks if you need to. 3 more sets. 2 more sets. 1 more set. And then we're going to find ourselves in a little hover straight back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it forward, release, do whatever you need to do. And we're going to grab hand weights and come to all 4s to finish up. So just 1 weight is all you need, back to lighter. So I'm going to put it in my left hand. We're going to take that right wrist right underneath the shoulder, knees right underneath the hips. Nice neutral spine. Let's take that weighted arm, sweep it out to the side, Palm is facing the wall behind you. And then bring it in just halfway so you don't skim your knuckles. Lift up and down. Breath can go either way here. I'm actually going to put my exhale on the descent just to force me to use my core and slow my arm down. We're going to do 4 more. 2 more. Now rest that arm for just a second. You could just do head of the weight, or you can bring it all the way in. Take your right leg back behind you. So we're going to take that right leg, we're going to lift it up and tap it down, keeping the spine in neutral. Lift up, tap down. Again, I'm going to do my exhale on the way down so that I'm really finding my core and resisting gravity. We've got 1 more. And then we're going to combine them. So that arm goes out to the side as the leg goes up, just an option. And then we come down with that tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, control. You could just do the leg, just do the arm. Anything works here. So lifting from the back of the shoulder, from that upper to mid back, and squeezing the seat. We're going to do 4 more. Really pull that belly button up towards your spine. Protect that back. 1 more. And then lower down. I'm actually going to get rid of my weight. You're welcome to keep yours if you're comfortable with it. We're going to take first the hands underneath the shoulders. If you still want that weight, we're going to bring the arms so you can keep it. Lift that right leg up and just find a little pulse on it. Squeezing right where the hamstring and the seat come together. If you feel like it, that left arm goes back out to the side and it does a little pulse up as well. Palm is facing the wall behind you, and we're just going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and give it a quick rock back to child's pose just to get off your upper body. Stretch out your back a little bit. Breathe. And then we're going to switch sides. I'm just going to turn around so that you can still see me, but you don't need to turn around at all. So now your weight is going to go into your right hand, and we're going to start on all 4s with just the upper body. So nice neutral spine. That arm is going to sweep straight out to the side, and then it's going to come in about halfway. Inhale up, exhale down, really utilizing that core. Utilizing the muscles. You're going to feel, if you slow down your descent, the muscles in the chest, in the front of the shoulder, in your core. Let's do 4 more like this. Two more. Last one. So we can either rest the head of the weight or bring the arm all the way in. Left leg goes back behind, belly button lifted, and we lift the leg and tap it to the floor. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Remembering not to lift so high that you get an arch in your back, but keeping that spine nice and still. Let's do 2 more. And then we're going to combine the 2. So when the leg comes up, the arm goes out to the side, and then they lower together. Inhale up, exhale down. Remembering you could just do the arm, just do the leg. This is definitely where we're getting our core work today. 4 more. 2 more. Last one. And then just like I did on the other side, I'm going to get rid of my weight. You can choose to keep it or not. We're gonna take that left leg back behind, lift it up, find that tiny little pulse, squeezing where the hamstring and the seat meet, breathing nice and easy into the center of the body. And then if you feel like it, that arm sweeps out to the side and it begins to pulse as well. Palm is facing the wall behind. That's going to help us find the back of the shoulder. An often very neglected area. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Find that child's pose. So we're just going to finish off with a little bit of bridge work before we stretch. And this is where, as I mentioned before we started, you could bring in some heavier weights if you feel like it. Just for today, since I keep my little toys over here and I've got them, I'm going to grab a 12, just a single 12. You could have 2 5s, you could have a 10, whatever you want. We're going to come down onto our backs, keeping that spine nice and long. So if you have a single weight, it's just going to rest right in between the hip bones, and you can use your hands to keep it in place. If you have 2 weights, you have a couple of options. You can lay them like this. So the head of one weight is at the hip and the other comes up the thigh. Or if they're smaller, you can just have one in each hand and rest them gently on your pelvis. So when you are ready, we are going to take an exhale up into bridge and an inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. The heels are right underneath the knees, pressing up just to the base of the shoulder. So not a big arcing bridge, but a nice neutral bridge. And all the weight is there for is to give us a little bit extra to lift up. Ask those muscles to work just a little bit harder. So if you find that the weight is causing you to feel discomfort in your low back, I would let go of it. And we're just going to do 4 more full range. We've already done a fair bit of seat work, so this is just our polisher. 2 more. We have 1 more. Now lift it up to the top of your bridge and just hold it with little pulses up, up, up. Again, if you start for any reason to feel this in your low back, you can let go of the weight. You can also think of taking your tailbone and shooting it up toward your knees. That may help. Press those heels into the floor. We're going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently lower all the way down. And just like we did standing, find your V position. So your heels come together, your toes and your knees point out toward the corners. And we're going to find that neutral again and just press up and down, finding the outer edge of the seat. Exhaling on the way up. Inhaling on the way down. And remember, you can be flat on the soles of your feet or you can roll slightly to the outer edges. Both are great. And I'm going to add just a little pressing open through the thighs as you lift. I know I seem to need that today. My knees want to go inward. And it'll also give you just a little extra seat. Next one, we're going to hold at the top. And we're just going to find those tiny little pulses up, up, up. This is where you can also just think of pressing those thighs open toward the floor. Breathe in for 2, out for 2. And let's go our last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let that weight go. Hug the knees up in towards the chest. Maybe a little rock side to side if that feels good. Take some deep breaths. And then go ahead and bring your left leg to the floor and extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. Hand can go behind the thigh or the calf. Want to make sure you're avoiding your knee. And just draw the leg in toward the chest. We're looking for a nice stretch across the back of the thigh. Knee can be soft. And then if you feel like it, add a little circling of your foot through a point and a flex. Taking a nice full breath for every circle. And really try to emphasize each position. The flex is going to stretch the calf, but the point is also going to stretch the shin. And we want both. Reverse the circle of the foot. If your foot cramps, you can always keep the toes flexed as you point the rest of the foot. Rest the foot. Let's take that right ankle, cross it over the left thigh, open up the leg, and stay here. You can bring it in towards your chest and breathe. Stretching that outer hip on that right side. You might feel it in your inner thigh if you really did that mind-body work and activated that inner leg. Very possible to feel it there as well. And if you don't, it doesn't mean you didn't do the work. I just happen to be tight in my inner thighs today. Let's go ahead and release right foot to the floor, left leg up toward the ceiling. First, just finding the stretch in the back of the thigh, focusing on breathing. And if you want to add that circling of the foot, emphasizing the flex, emphasizing the point. And reversing the direction of the circle. And taking that left ankle, crossing it over the right thigh. Take a moment, open up the leg first. And then if you feel like bringing it into the chest, you can. Go ahead and bring the feet to the floor. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the legs to open. Arms are at our sides. And just take some nice deep breaths. Release the hips. Maybe even think about relaxing your jaw muscles a little bit. Letting go of tension in your face. Gently bring those legs back together. Let's just roll over onto one side. You can lay all the way down, or you can come up on your elbow if you prefer. Find the top foot, draw the thigh back, press the hips forward, get a nice stretch through the front of the thigh, front of the hip. And then if you want to, you can also get an upper body stretch here. If you think of rolling your shoulder open and pressing your elbow back behind you, you'll actually find that the front of the shoulder and the bicep get a little stretch with the chest. And then we'll just release. You can just roll over to the other side, or you can flip over like I am. Find that top foot, draw the thigh back, press the hips forward. And if you want to add that upper body, you're going to take that top shoulder, roll it open, aim the elbow for the wall behind you. Feel that stretch. And you might not be able to see from the angle I'm at, but it would be really easy to arch your back here. So make sure your hips are pressing forward and you're really drawing up through your core. And release, and let's just gently press up into a seated position. And we'll just take our arms forward, lace the fingers, flip the palms, round the back as you press forward through the heels of your hands. Let the shoulder blades draw apart. And then let's just give it a little twist to the left, twisting at the waist. And then we're going to push the heel of that right hand toward the corner. Release, take the twist over to the right. Press the heel of the left hand toward the corner you're facing. Come back to center, press forward one more time. Release your hands, give it a roll up, sit nice and tall. Just release your arms to your sides. And take your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Maybe take that left hand to the side, to the floor, and walk it away from you. It'll bring that stretch right across the top of your shoulder. And release. Let's come up and over. So left ear toward left shoulder. That right hand down to your side. Walk away with the fingertips. We'll release, bringing ourselves upright. You can keep your eyes closed. We're just going to inhale the arms forward and over the head. And then exhale, reach the arms behind you, opening that chest again. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Do that 2 more times. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. 1 more. We are done for this Saturday. Let me come over, get the unmute.